This week we're going to talk about thunderstorms. So I thought I would look a little bit at what is happening currently with thunderstorms around the United States, and then delve into where we have some interesting things happening this afternoon. This is an outlook for convection for day one. You can see general areas in the northwest U.S. here, but the main thing is that they indicate what might be severe. There's a marginal risk of severe here, actually a marginal risk down over the Keys in southern Florida today, slight risk, and then a moderate or enhanced risk actually here. And if you were to look at probabilities, you can see there's a 5%, and this is a probability within 25 miles of a point, hatched area. If there's 10% chance or greater, it gets a little bit more significant. There's not. Wind probability, again, pretty good chance of some pretty strong wind gusts today, particularly from Dallas-Fort Worth eastward with time. And this is a 24-hour forecast. And then there's also some hail, some pretty large hail expected in the western part of Texas here. So this is a forecast of what may happen today. It's expected that they'll be issuing severe weather watches, warnings out in that area today. So why is that going on? Well, let's take a look at a couple things here. Here is a surface map. So what we see here is we have basically a stationary front, and lots of moisture is coming in off the Gulf of Mexico here, as you can see. Dew points are in the mid-60s, even 70s down here in the Gulf, pushing inland here. On the other side, temperature contrast is pretty cold. Temperatures are in the 40s. So while it's not moving much as a front, there's a lot of convergence going on along that frontal boundary right now. So it is an area of interest. The other one is there's an old front down here in the south part of Florida. You can see it right here. And that is triggering some more thunderstorms down in that area as well. So with these being areas of interest, we can look at satellite and get a little bit more information, particularly out here. We'll look at Texas and Oklahoma, where the more significant severe weather. A couple of things I noticed is there's a lot of clouds, but there's also a lot of areas that don't have a lot of clouds, so there's good heating. The sun has gotten a lot warmer here. We now have the sun in the northern hemisphere, so it can heat even more. And you can see here some development. Look at this cloud popping up right here and here along this frontal boundary. If you would relate that to where the front is, that's exactly where those thunderstorms are now developing. So there's obviously a lot of instability out there as well. So let's take a little bit more look. And this is the morning sounding from Dallas-Fort Worth. This is a moist adiabatic lapse rate right here. So what that says is if I lift this air parcel from right here, moist adiabatically, because it's saturated, it's going to be always warmer than the surrounding air. So if I heat up down here, I may be able to lift something up and cause instability. So I have the potential for some severe weather because of instability right here. One of the interesting things going on today is in the upper levels, there's an upper level trough coming in from the west. That's going to be cooling the air up here. Down here, we saw there'll be some intermittent sunshine. So you're warming it up down here. You're cooling it off aloft. You're increasing the instability. Now, we want wind shear. In order to have a good chance at severe weather, you need at least 40 knots of wind shear in the first 6 kilometers. Well, we have southerly, even southeasterly winds at the low levels here, switching to west when you get aloft. So there's pretty good wind shear right here, southeast winds into westerly winds. And these winds are going to be increasing with time today. So again, we're getting another ingredient That helps to keep the outflows from going too far from the thunderstorms. It helps keeps the thunderstorms erect. So we wind up with a better and better chance of severe weather with this. So instead of just individual thunderstorms, we're going to get multicellular thunderstorms. So what happens is thunderstorms begin to develop along the southern part of the line, propagate northward along the line, northeastward, gradually develop into severe thunderstorms potentially. Some of them will, some of them will not. And as that happens, new ones reform on the south side of the line so that you can get a continuously set of thunderstorms feeding off of each other, never letting the outflow get too far out because of the wind shear here. And this allows for longer-lived thunderstorms. We're not looking at necessarily a lot of tornadoes today. So these are more in terms of severe wind gust. And finally, just looking at the forecast, this is a forecast model, high resolution, looking at convection. And you can see thunderstorms forecasts during the mid-afternoon beginning to develop in here. Also notice all this moisture coming up from the Gulf of Mexico, feeding in. Thunderstorms get stronger and stronger across this part, and gradually moving east across the north part of Texas here, and towards Arkansas and Louisiana with time. You can actually see some very strong thunderstorms in here, it looks like, with time. So that is your picture of a multicellular type thunderstorm. And you can see the instability is what triggers them and all. So these are all the things you're going to be learning about this week. So I hope you get something out of this a little bit. Let me know if you have any questions.